What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Legislative Director talking about legislative things. I am your stand-in host, not the Legislative Director, Mandla Moyo, Director of Community Engagement for AARP Indiana. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing correctly. The not Legislative Director, Jason Tomcsi, is with us today. I am so excited. I'm fired up. Can't wait to hear what he has to share with us today. But first of all, we go to our very own favorite legislative director, Amber Marr. How are you doing today?
Hey, Mandla, I'm good. How are you?
Good. My good friend and colleague, Addison Pollock, is also here. He's also not the legislative director.
Good day,
Addison,
sir.
how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Good to be here.
Good. The man of the hour, the myth, the legend, the not legislative director, Mr. Jason Tomcsi. How are you doing, sir? Lake County, that's right. Lake County,
representing
How
the
are you doing?
region. He's back. One time only. Just happened to just wander into this recording session. I'm actually lost. I'm not supposed to be here.
Listen, man, we've made a lot of fun of you. We don't know what you've been doing, but I'm thinking today's conversation will give us a little bit of insight. We've made a lot of jokes at your expense about, we don't know what Jason's up to or where he is. And we've done a lot of interim assignment quotes. And so we're really excited to have you. Thanks for joining us, man.
Well, it's great to be here. And you are correct to make fun of me because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just hanging out. No, actually, all joking aside, hopefully, what we'll talk about today will be a little glimpse into my world and what I've been working on for these last several months and not being a part of this. But yeah, it's great to be back here. This is fun. This is fun stuff that I'm missing out on right now. So it's just good to see you guys again. Dan, it's even good to see you behind the scenes, putting stuff up on the screens. It's awesome.
Producer Dan, always no,
Yes.
no, we're not all heroes wear capes. That is absolutely right. So today's conversation is going to be centered around broadband and access to broadband and how folks can get better access to broadband. But before we get into that, I want to give Amber a few moments to talk, give you guys a little bit of a background, and then just talk a little bit more about what's happening here in the state of Indiana. And then she and Jason are going to have a really good conversation together. And then the four of us will sort of talk broadly about broadband and sort of what happens next. So Amber, take it away.
Excellent. So I am sure that many of our listeners or viewers remember broadband or high-speed internet, which you will hear us refer to today, is something that we have worked on and continue to work on for individuals to have access to affordable high-speed internet in communities where they live. Something that we consistently have referred to this past session are several bills. I believe there were a total of 4, plus money in the budget, which would make that 5, I think, if I can remember correctly. But this was a huge topic of conversation during the 2021 legislative session. Not that it hasn't been in the past. We have tried to keep that drumbeat going. I know that in 2020 and 2019, there were large conversations around it too, but just not nearly as intense as it was after sort of we endured the pandemic during 2020 and still are sort of in the mix of it, mostly coming out of it, I hope. But I think that was just something that we wanted to remind folks about why we talk about high-speed internet, why it is important to us, and just some things that this type of or this topic really helps us engage in our local communities. So one of the things that like I said, I just want to emphasize is that high-speed internet really helps individuals age in place, which we talk about consistently. People want to age in their homes, in their communities, and try to stay out of long-term care facilities as long as possible. And then also by supporting access to telemedicine, civic engagement, entertainment, online learning, and other internet-based applications that address isolation and health challenges. And so we just want to make sure that is completely clear And then we can kind of move in, because this is something that we will continue to talk about also. A lot of the bills during session have things that we're going to be watching as the year unfolds, and as some of the grant programs kind of get underway, or ones that were already in place, they just were given additional funds. So we will continue to watch how that sort of rolls out across the year. But before we move to Jason, I just wanted to make sure, Addison or Mandala, did I forget anything else that you'd like to add as far as sort of our work around broadband, or anything else that you guys have been involved into with the Indiana office?
Yeah, sure. I can just kind of kick it off and talk about what one of the greatest things we've done locally was one of our 2020 Community Challenge Grant winners was the Sustainable Muncie Corporation, and they actually installed around 3 hotspots external to their building that they work in. It's a community building called Majax, and that allows folks to go to the park outside of the Majax building or in the parking lot and utilize that internet. So that high speed internet service. So this is not our first foray into internet access. I mean, as Amber mentioned, we've been busy at the State House, but in our local communities, we're trying to, toot the horn of the folks who are really doing a great job. City of Evansville recently employed a grant that they received from Okra, the Office of Community and Rural.
Oh, it looks like Addison froze up there. But what he was really going to talk about, sorry, is how the city of Evansville used a grant from the Office of Community and Rural Affairs to fund some sort of local broadband initiatives in their own community. And so I think for us locally, I think it will continue to be a situation where we encourage the communities that we work in, both from Indianapolis to Gary, Evansville to Fort Wayne, to sort of look for opportunities to ways that they can expand access, and also, I think a lot of times the affordability piece as well. And I think that's a great transition into sort of what Amber, you and Jason have sort of to share with the folks around the Emergency Broadband Benefit program. So Amber and Jason.
Thanks, Mandala. And I did just want to point out, I think it's really important, even though Addison is still frozen, I think that this just goes to show that internet issues are not just to certain locations in the state of Indiana. It can be almost anywhere that you are if you have issues getting actual higher speeds of internet. And so I think that while that was unfortunate, I do think that it was perfectly timed to show that internet access can be such a huge important factor, especially when we're working from home and we are doing other things. So Addison, I don't know if you planned that, but
No, that was not planned at all, but well timed. But I'll kick it back over to you.
And Addison, thank you. We'll talk about the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program and then kind of circle back. Mandala kind of talked a little bit about what Evansville is doing, but if you have anything else to add, we'll circle back to you.
Definitely.
Awesome. Jason, okay, you are up.
Up?
We are here to talk about the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program, which is essentially a federal initiative, yet the money that is put into this program trickles down to the states and local communities. And so if you don't mind, I'm just going to turn it over to you to sort of talk about what the program is, who can benefit from the program, and just sort of how people can find information about whether they qualify or not. So thanks so much for being here. It's good to have you back.
It is good to be back. AP, I feel your pain with regards to the high-speed internet connection. Mine is dicey in my home as well at times. So let's see if I can make it through this thing while we're talking. But with regards to the Emergency Broadband Benefit, is a program that was set up as part of one of the COVID relief packages. And we're looking at it is $3.2 billion that was allotted to the FCC to stand up this program to make high-speed internet service more affordable for folks. And I'll get to the qualifications here in a second, but just so folks know what that what the benefit is it's up to $50. That's $50 a month on your high-speed internet bill. If you're on tribal lands, which Indiana, that doesn't necessarily is the case here, but in other states, like Oklahoma or South Dakota, places like that have larger tribal land populations, that benefit is up to $75 a month. And then there's also some providers will allow for up to $100 towards the purchase of a laptop or a tablet. And I guess I said providers there, which is kind of a key thing, is that a lot of this is funneling through your internet provider. So you need to see if your internet provider is participating in the program. Now, here in Indiana, I believe most of them are. Like at least the big ones and a lot of the smaller ones. So that is something that should be able to you should be able to find without any kind of problem. And so that's so you want to look that up, and we'll get that information to you guys as well. But it is, as Amber had alluded to, it is a short-term program. So once the money runs out, it is gone. And so that's why it's important for us to get the word out about it as soon as possible, so people can get enrolled in the program and then qualify for that benefit and start receiving that benefit as soon as possible. I can get into it more for qualifications. It's kind of broad, but it is kind of geared towards folks that have either recently encountered a loss of income because of the pandemic, or it's also geared towards folks that are maybe already enrolled in a federal program like the Lifeline program or some other assistance helps with that qualification. So like I said, we can get into the exact specifics of what that would look like, or we can talk more generally about the program. I'm happy to do any of those things, but that's just a broad overview. And, as Amber's kind of mentioned already as well, this is high-speed internet, kind of what we're doing right now, maybe not recording the show, but being online is no longer a luxury. This is a necessity in this day and age, from everything from kids learning online, from adults learning online. You have telehealth appointments that obviously had gone up during the pandemic. Just from an economic standpoint, for folks to apply for jobs, to if they need unemployment assistance, all of these things. Or if you have a small business and you're trying to reach people when things were really bad, folks went online so you can order things. All of us have been ordering things online during this last year and a half and beyond. So it is no longer something that is just a want. It is a need. And so any way that we can make that more affordable, AARP is going to be out there to make sure that folks know about it. And that's kind of why we were instrumental from the jump in helping to push this program. AARP on a national office level has been engaging with the FCC since this program was announced, in talking about criteria and kind of making sure that outreach is there for the older population. So it's a good program. Hopefully, folks, if you can qualify, check that out and then get enrolled.
That was a lot of information. Thank you, Jason. I do have a couple of quick questions for you, sort of around that information that you provided. I don't think that you mentioned, as people are listening to, if they do qualify for this benefit, and we have said that the money is available until it runs out, what happens when the money does run out? How will they be notified? Is there a length of time that they will be given notice? If you could just go a little bit into that, that would be excellent.
So this is something you might even know, because you're well versed in this subject now. But yes, so it isn't going to be like once you're enrolled in the program with your provider and the money runs out, you're just going to get a bill and it's whatever it was before. There's going to be ample notification from the FCC. That's part of the requirement with regards to notification on it. I'll even look. I got some notes on my other screen here, which is, who is this guy?
I'm sorry. Wait.
I got some notes here. Let me bring up some notes.
You have notes?
You don't even know me anymore.
I don't even know you.
So that's kind of what it is. Yeah, who is this guy? So let me bring this up real quick to look at it one more time. so the whole idea is that there's going to be ample notification before this thing's over, so that there's no surprise billing, and it's also an opt-in situation so if somebody's enrolled in the program and you're getting that discount, when the notification comes in that the money is running out. So you're like, the next bill is going to, I want to say that let me look it up to get the exact.
It's 60 days.
It's 60 days. It's 60 days. Okay. That's what I thought.
I didn't mean to put, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot with that.
No. I should have known that. I had 30 or 60, wasn't sure, but that's why you're here. So you get notification beforehand that this is like going to be your last bill with it. And if you want to continue, with that, whatever package you may be selected through your provider, if you want to continue that, you have to opt in. If you don't, then your internet, or if you don't opt into what you had or get into a different level or tier or a product that your provider has, then your internet just stops. So it's not like they're just going to continue to enroll you in the program and you're going to keep on getting hit with a bill that you can't afford. You have to opt in to continue your service. So that's the good thing about it, is that there's going to be that 60-day notification that you have to opt in, that, hey, this is the last bill where you're going to either have a full credit or even partial credit. I think they're going to give a notification for. And so that's going to be there. That kind of safeguard is in place so that folks aren't going to get stuck with high internet bills when they can't afford it.
Absolutely. And I think that is very important, because I think that could be a concern for some people. If that benefit does run out, they would be nervous that their bill would continue if they couldn't afford it, but they would have the opportunity to continue to either opt in and pay for it themselves after that benefit runs out, or they can just after their notification, they could just let it go and their internet will eventually drop off. So
yeah, and I think there's a lot of providers that do have some sort of lower tiered package that is specifically for populations that can't normally afford it. So you can maybe get into one of those in your area or with your provider. So that's just something to look into. But in the meantime, this benefit is there available. It is supposed to, like I said, it goes till the money runs out or until I believe it is declared that the pandemic is over, which, in this case, it's going to be interesting to see. My guess is the money runs out before they declare that the pandemic is over. That's just a guess. So I don't know for sure when that will be, but we'll hopefully get that notification from the FCC as we're rolling along. They do have a dashboard that's there now, so you can see how many people enrolled in the program. We're looking at like over 2.5 million households across the country that have enrolled. It gets down to the state specific numbers. I think Amber's got those. I'll let you tell the Indiana specific numbers that are there. But to see how many people have enrolled in the program. But it's also, she's checking her notes. So that
I was going to say, this is my turn to not have any notes. What are you talking about?
I can tell you I can tell you it was updated like yesterday. So
that's
you probably
the thing.
I have the latest.
53,000 people had enrolled, but you said that there are more. So the update
it's now 68,000 over 68,000 households in Indiana have enrolled in the program. So it's obviously popular. The first week after it was announced at the beginning of May, I think over 1 million households were enrolled. So there's obviously a need there. And so hopefully some folks enroll in the program, and then who knows what happens if this is something that obviously the appetite and the demand is there for this. This might be something that you can see maybe down the line. Folks will want to kind of continue in some way, shape, or form to assist the populations that need it the most.
That was going to be my question to sort of both of you guys, is that have you heard or have you been in conversations with folks about seeing how we mentioned that internet service can no longer be a luxury. It's a must now. So looking at it more as a utility, or looking at it like like something like Snap, or where folks can have access to programming like this to where they can afford internet. So I was curious to find out from either one of you or both of you whether or not you've been in conversations or heard of folks trying to see about how do we make this more permanent for folks.
You know, that's a good question. I don't know, Amber. I don't know what you're hearing around at this. It depends on I know from, a national standpoint, I don't think we're necessarily there from, I guess, an AARP standpoint with regards to how we want to view it. But I do know there are some states that are more aggressive on this than others. One in particular that I guess kind of stands out, and it's more around to highlight the importance of high-speed internet, is in the state of New York. They recently passed something in regards to shutoffs and moratoriums. Normally, when you think about moratoriums on shutoffs, it's for like things like gas and electricity. And that in the state of New York, they've extended it to water, and actually high-speed internet is now being classified as like you can't cut it off during this time, which is kind of new ground. But highlights where that kind of is from an important standpoint. Now that's New York, so I know different state, different kind of environments and things of that nature. But that there's a lot of, I think, energy or belief, especially after this past year, on this. I mean, I know here in Indiana, Governor Holcomb had been talking about it, broadband expansion before everything hit. In a lot of states across the country, there's always been talk about expanding high-speed internet, that infrastructure, a lot of it focused in on rural areas that don't have it. But I think even now, kind of the profile of this and urgency around it, I think, has gone way up because of what we have and are currently still in the mix of in regards to what happened with the pandemic. So it's becoming an issue that is rising further and further to the top on people's radars of what we need. So hopefully there'll be some more energy around it in the regard that kind of we're talking about, that it's on that kind of level, but it's going to be kind of, wait and see.
And also, Jason, stop me if this is incorrect, but I think that what the hope is that while the Emergency Broadband Benefit program right now is only for a number of months, because it's only until the money runs out, but hopefully it will show that there really is a huge need, and maybe, just maybe, we can maybe extend this to a full forever program. I know that's not really being talked about.
I think that's something that I think our colleagues in the DC office are probably looking at very closely, and making sure that when they're having their conversations with the FCC about how the program is going and things of that nature, is that something that's going to be, and I think there's going to be a lot of other groups across the country too that find this is an important issue for them, is that if you see that this demand is there, and if this money runs out after like a few months or whatever it is afterwards, because there's so many people have enrolled in program, I think that's going to kind of gather some more attention around it. And then I think you could maybe see a push to make this more of a permanent thing or extend it further, because it's going to show that's where that demand is. And so we'll have to wait and see on that. I know a lot of times, folks in Congress, when it's a popular program, they want to keep it rolling, even if it's supposed to be temporary. So we'll see. We'll see what shakes out in the next kind of weeks and months ahead. But I mean, it's something that I think we're seeing, is that there's that need.
And
sure.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna agree with you, and then I think we may have talked about it, we may not have, but I was gonna just circle back with Amber about why is ARP involved, and why does it matter? Like, why does it matter to us? That kind of thing.
Jason, I think you were going to talk a little bit about that, just both from a national perspective as well as the way that it trickles down. Did you have anything else to add on that, or I'm happy to take that?
No, I think you can jump in the mix on this. I don't know. It's what you've been working on here in the state of Indiana on those things, but like, it's kind of what I already hit on already, is that folks need to be connected now to do a lot of things, and then whether it be education based, or to continue to stay healthy with telehealth appointments, or just doing basic things like grocery shopping and other kind of necessities, requires that connection. And more and more, it needs to be of the high speed variety. And now the FCC we'll go down to the technical side of things. The FCC kind of determines whether or not you have a high-speed internet connection is whether or not it's a 25 megabits per second down, 10 up for upload. I think everybody on this call or anybody who's like watching or uses the internet or tries to have more than 2 people on their Wi-Fi connection, if they were at those speeds, it just doesn't really cut it anymore. And so there is actually a lot of effort to raise that up to that a high-speed connection would be classified as 100 megabits per second download. And then I forget what the upload speed is, but the fact of the matter is that right now it's just 25 down, 3 or 10 up. So it's even what is classified as high-speed internet is not necessarily cuts it anymore. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of work in this area that needs to be done. But at this point, we just need to get people connected so that they can utilize these basic services anymore. Cause that's kind of what it is. It's basic anymore. And I know that there's, a hesitancy. Some folks think, older populations don't use the internet. But I think we've seen that if folks have the opportunity or they're familiar with it in some regards, and most have gotten very familiar over the last year, especially just from the standpoint of trying to schedule your vaccine. For folks that wanted to get, to get a COVID-19 shot, most places you needed to get online to book that appointment. So that's another reason that's kind of, it's something else that's kind of shined a light on this, is that, just for things like that, when they happen, you need that connection. And so hopefully more folks have access to it, and hopefully it's at a level that's affordable to them.
And just really fast, I wanted to jump in and just mention, because several of the things that you said are very key to our work, right? Which was not just households, but we fight for businesses and communities, including we have done a lot of work around long-term care facilities during the past year and a half. And I think what's really important is that also goes to when long-term care facilities were not allowing family members into the building. What was really important is that virtual visits were available to those individuals or residents living in those facilities. And so I think that this is not just about home. This is about communities as a whole, and businesses and other places and schools, and just pretty much anywhere, so that people, wherever you are or whatever you're doing, there is some way to stay connected.
Correct. Yes.
I think the last things that we just need to wrap up really quick, Jason, if you don't mind, and I'm happy to say it, but I'd love for you to give out the 3 different ways that people can actually go to learn more, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's so aarp.org/EBB is our national page that's got the links to everything there. From there, you can click to apply. From there, you can look up your provider. You can click on that. There's you can just find a way to contact, because there are ways to also the organization that is actually physically enrolling people is USAC, which is like the United Services Administration. Here we go. This is a throwback to me not knowing my acronyms. It's the Universal Service Administrative Company. Those are the folks who also run the Lifeline program. So if anybody's familiar with that, they're the ones who you sign up through, or you can go to sign up. So go to aarp.org/EBB to get all that information. There is on there also includes a phone number that I should know off the top of my head that I also don't, but Amber's got it written down so she can tell you, which is where if you don't have an internet connection, or if you want to get like an application mailed to you for this, you can call this number, and that's USAC's EBB hotline that can help you with that. And then also there's something, I guess I consider it's fun. There's a lot of folks that have smartphones or just regular phones. And you could do this right now, is that you could text the word internet to 22777, and you'll get a response that also includes a link to AARP's landing page with all of our EBB information that you can go from there. Also included on that EBB page from AARP is also, besides just getting signed up for the program, we also, once you get connected to the internet, what do I do with it? And so there's some information there where you can get some resources about the internet itself and utilizing it and navigating it from an AARP affiliate called Oates. So that is also something you can look at as well, which is all kind of housed at aarp.org/EBB. There it is on the screen again. And then, like I said, you can also text the word internet to 22777, and that can get you there as well. And then Amber's got the 1-800 number queued up for you to call the USAC helpline for EBB.
And then the 1-800, I guess that is an 800 number, but it's 1-833-511-0311. Once again, that's 833-511-0311. And also, I just wanted to mention there is information on our webpage. There should be a blog posted that, thank you, Dan, for getting that up and going. And that you can also get to our blog post by going to aarp.org/in. So that was another way to get information. There are multiple avenues to get to this information. So Jason, I just wanted to say thank you. But before we close out, Addison, please, will you just one more time tell us about Evansville, since you got cut off about what we're doing in Evansville?
Oh, that's okay.
I just want to go back to that really fast.
Yeah, no problem. No, I just wanted to highlight some of the great things that are happening in Hoosier communities that we work in. So Evansville applied for a grant from the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, and they are expanding broadband to 6 hotspots in the city. So at churches, community centers, things like that. This is all work that we're supporting. And when it comes to the EBB, I would just say, now's the time. If you're interested in broadband services, high-speed internet services, whether you have it or you don't, if you think you know someone who might be interested in this, just share that information and get them hooked up with the internet, because I think it's something that they will be pleasantly surprised once they try it out. So I just wanted to highlight our communities and just make sure that we're giving them props. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Jason, the gang is all back together again. It was amazing.
This has been fun. This has been fun. It's good to be back in the saddle again, even if it's for briefly. I just miss your faces in this whole show.
You've got notes now? My God.
Yeah, I know, man. Like
I'm my game up. I don't know what.
I'm a totally different person. Dan's coming through with the shout outs.
What about shout outs?
Oh my. So man. You know what, Dan, thank you for that reminder. I don't know. Here's what's happened. During session, I usually know exactly who to give shout outs to. So what I might do, and I'm going to put him on the spot, if you guys have shout outs, please, I would love to hear about it. I am going to see, though, if Jason would like to do shout outs today.
That's pretty good. I got a couple. I think I can, like, there's a couple of folks. It'll be some. This is going to be the Dan's hashtag Inside Baseball graphic that's going to go up here. But there are a couple of folks on our government affairs side of the AARP world that are have been in the mix on this issue for a long time. It's Correlette, who does a lot of our work with the states, and then my friend DeWeet, who does it on the federal level as well. And the two of them have kind of really been engaged in the minutia of this issue, especially around EBB and kind of getting it up and running. So this has been this is something it's high on AARP's priority list. This is a kind of an enterprise-wide endeavor of folks that are kind of working on this and engaging on several levels. So I think I'll give a shout out to those two that are from the AARP family. And then, just also, I guess I'll give a shout out to all the other organizations that are out there that are working on this issue, because there's a lot of folks that have been talking about it for a long time, about its need for not only just expanding the access to it in our rural areas, but also the importance of the affordability of it just in general. So I think it's it's an important issue to be engaging on. No pun intended. It's kind of connecting a lot of the other issues together. So I think it's exciting to, I guess, unfortunately, it had to take a pandemic for people to realize its importance, I think, for a lot of folks. But now I think we're getting there where the importance level, people have recognizing that. So all the organizations that have been plugging away at this for a while, kudos to you. And then obviously our two colleagues that I mentioned just now. So there you go.
Well,
Didn't even know I was doing a shout out.
If I can jump in too, because I might be stealing everyone else's thunder, but I don't think I'm the only one that says this. We would like to give a shout out to you. I know that in front of me, that the reason why I have notes and all of the great, wonderful information that states are able to access, or sorry, yeah, I guess that was the right way to say it, is that the AARP state offices that can access this information, you have created all of it, or at least in combination with the individuals that you also gave a shout out to. And so it has been very easy for us to engage on this, to get information out to folks. And we just really appreciate all of your work. While we would much prefer you to be back in the Indiana office, we know you're doing good work, and we're happy to have had you on here to talk about this, especially since this was a lot of what you're doing. So shout out to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Mandela, Addison, you guys have got some shout outs?
So I'm gonna do one that's kind of a shameless plug, and then another one that is probably Addison talked about this. So the shameless plug shout out is going to be for our community challenge grant process. Although that's closed for this year, please look out for announcements for that. Again, like Addison mentioned, there are unique opportunities in there for you to fund projects in your community that expand broadband, not only to the folks that you serve, but to the community at large. And then obviously the Office of Rural and Community Affairs. If you are out there and you work in a city, town for a nonprofit, look into the work that they're doing around broadband as well. They have a lot of resources there that can help you sort of grow the project and work in your community. So shout out to those folks there. Maybe it might be time to get them onto the show too, maybe. So we'll see what happens. So those are my shout outs.
All my shout outs have been taken. So thank you all. I appreciate you covering that for me.
Sorry, Addison.
Sorry,
Just getting around. No, I mean, in all seriousness, I would like to thank, Okra, the state legislature working on this issue, our friends in rural and urban areas, both organizations and like the business community. We work with a lot of our chambers of commerce across the state, the local chambers of commerce and the state chamber of commerce. This is a priority for everyone. So I just think that together we can get there and become a more connected state and a more connected nation through high-speed internet. So I'm just grateful for all those great partners.
And I know you probably mentioned this, but a thank you to all of the providers that decided to participate to be able to give this program to individuals in every state. So absolutely. I think we've gone way over time. Mandela.
It's been a good episode. It's been a really good episode. Thank you everybody for joining us. Remember www.arp.org/EBB and then www.arp.org/IN for all the resources, all the information that you need around this. We'll see you guys again. Good luck. And Jason, it was really great to see you. See you guys.
Thanks for having me.